What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to go through a trade recap for you here. So traded quite a bit today. Ended up making close to $5,000 after commission. It's probably going to be closer to $4,000. I really made $4,600. Had about $700 in commission. Did a lot of big trades today, but never really hit kind of the big trade. So we're going to walk over that. I was red, $5,000, $6,000 at one point today. I was green, $9,000 at one point today. Could have made $20,000 on one of my first short plays. So again, it was kind of one of those days where you just didn't do your job good enough and or correctly enough to play out into something good big today. So anyways, I'm going to show you guys all the trades that we did here today. So we'll start with TYME. I have my P&L here. I'm still short. I actually just got a shit fill on this, but anyways, so yeah, TYME, I was short 14 to 15,000 shares in this top, covered for a break even. It faded all the way out. But anyways, we wanted to be short TYME. I started shorting here, added too much into this dip, had to average up a little bit into this high, and then just took it off for a break even because I was already green on the day and I didn't really want to give back my money. So I just made sure to take it off at a break even, and then it ended up fading out, tremendously. So what were the reasons for wanting to go short on TYME is because at the time when TYME was trading at these prices, it was trading extremely overbought, way over 3 deviations on the day. And if you look at the chart on the right, it was over long-term resistance. So TYME at the prices we were selling at was overbought on the intraday chart, and it was overbought on the long-term chart, and the stock was running on no news. We figured to be short. I timed it a little incorrectly, used too many shares a little too quickly, which then kind of messed up my psyche, which didn't allow me to hold through the trade the way I was supposed to hold through the trade. So all in all, we did a great job of the analysis. We picked the perfect top where we should have been shorting, but incorrectly managed it as we did it, which made it a little bit more challenging. So all said and done, ended up being red on TYME, like $20 or something like that. I'm currently in this trade. If it pans out, then maybe I'll be green on TYME throughout the day. So overall, lost a little bit on TYME earlier, but it was a 15,000 share short, pretty much exactly on the top, but just didn't hold it enough to let it play out into a win. All right, next ticker is IRIX. So IRIX was just a small trade that I will show you here in just a second. Okay, so let me put that down there. So IRIX was a short trade and pretty much added short 1,000 shares here, covered the first drop. Didn't catch any of this move, but it was really just a small short here, caught a little bit of the move, took it off for a small win of 100, and then the thing ended up dumping out. So why didn't I hold the whole way through the move? And really the reason being is I'm just usually not as good and as comfortable holding short for a bigger win when we're just kind of in the middle of charts. So the best way I could explain this is at the time, this wasn't extremely overbought on the intraday chart. It was really just, kind of fair value, a little bit over fair value during the middle of the day. If you look at the chart on the right is a longer term chart, which suggests the stock is overbought. So we're overbought on longer term charts, not overbought on the intraday. So it's kind of like, well, you are overbought on the long term. You're not overbought on the intraday. Is it meant to go higher? Maybe. So what I did was take a small position as a short. They would at least make some bit of money if I was right. But if I was wrong and it went really, really high, then I would have been fine accepting the loss. So I positioned myself in a way that was just 1,000 shares short so that if in the event it did crash out, I would make a little bit of money. But if it also went higher, I would be okay with the loss. And then I would have worked in a bigger short at higher prices, which I usually would be more comfortable holding for a bigger win. So overall, I just took a 1,000 share short on the top here around 490, covered the first drop on IRIX. And the reason I didn't hold longer is because we just weren't in a situation that I'm familiar with enough to understand that it was going to be a full-on drop over. So it's part of my career I'm still learning to get a grasp of a little bit better. So that's why I just went 1,000 shares. All right, next one on the list is XPEV. So XPEV was also a short, made a little bit of money. So by the time I had been trading throughout the day and traded all these other positions, the stock XPEV had ran up, all the way in the day to about 51.59. So as a group, we decided to go short on XPEV in the highs here, and then we covered into this drop. So essentially, XPEV ran on the day. We were focused trading other instruments for the day. And then as this goes all the way up for a phenomenal day for the longs, it eventually gets to an overbought price that should have sort of a relaxation pullback. So essentially the stock went up all day long. And by the time we caught wind of it and really started to focus on it, it was overbought and it made sense to trade bearish for a pullback. So we did. And so we started getting short at our, in the 559 areas, but my fill ended up being 532, I think, was my average. And then as we dropped over here, covered the play. Now in this play, I only took 200 shares short because we wanted to actually see, excuse me, my eyeball itches. So we actually wanted to see the stock XPEV go up to a high of, I have it marked off, you'll see right there, boom, that red line. We actually wanted to see XPEV continue to 52. I know it sounds crazy. We're in a short and we still want it to go higher. Why would you be short something and then still want it to go higher? Wouldn't you lose money? Yes, you would. But it would have become more overbought into an even better selling location. So what we did here on XPEV was very similar to the trade we did on IRIX. See, IRIX was a trade that, again, wasn't really overbought on the intraday, but it was overbought on the long term. So we took 1,000 shares because we thought it could go higher. So on this one, we only went short, or actually I was short 300. So I was short 300 shares because we still kind of wanted to go to 52.70, but we kind of thought it might top out here. So we took a position that we were 100% comfortable with in the event it went all the way to 52.70, right? So we go short, small size. In case this does end up being the top, we'll make a little bit of money on the downside. But if we're wrong and it actually goes higher to our more desired price target of 52.70 or 52.80, then we'll take a bigger short because the risk will be more worth the reward there. So we took a position we were okay losing with, so that if it went to our more desired price target, we would have averaged up the trade with a bigger position into a more desired shorting location. So that trade ended up netting $127. Okay, next one on the list is LJPC, which I'll just cover very briefly. It's a loser, but I'll cover it very, very quickly. Essentially went long pre-market here, stopped out here. Long pre-market here, stopped out here. So why did we go long? Just because it had the setup. If you look at yesterday, it spiked up, dropped all the way back out, gapped up this morning. So it was kind of into a cup and handle situation, and this was only the second day. So I thought it kind of had the formation that would lead into a long. So I went long, and as soon as it broke this pennant, the formation pretty much died out. So again, long, stop out, don't fight it. I'm wrong, right? This is a situation where I'm long, and I get stopped out, and I go, okay, this clearly isn't what I'm trying to do for the day. Don't go and trade it. You see, I take no more trades. I don't revenge trade it, nothing like that. So that one just didn't work. And simply to put it, it was into overbought locations on some time frames. So next one on the list is a small winner, which is NEO, that we're not even going to talk about. It's pointless. CCIV, it's such a small loser. It's pointless to even talk about. Basically NEO and CCIV today were just like little quick trades where I was like in and out because I'm like, no point of trading it. So again, really nothing to talk about. Then the trade with DLPN was pretty cool, which I don't know. I hope I didn't cover this one already. I don't think I did. I don't know. I've tried to make this video 2 times. Oh no, I was talking about TYME. TYME trade is actually going green now. That's cool. I'm up $97. Was just down $200 from when I started this. Now I'm up $97. All right, so we're going to talk about DLPN here. All right, so DLPN was a short. We're just going to do this very simple. Our short was here. We covered into this move. We wanted to then, afterwards, short on this red line, but you can see it only went to 530. So there's 2 things we did with DLPN. Well, one thing we did, one thing we wanted to do. One thing we did was we shorted the first pop here to 480, covered into this move. Next thing we wanted to do was we wanted to short at 550, 544, and then cover into that drop. But we only got to 530. So what was the reason for shorting here? 1, the intraday chart overbought. 2, if you look at the right side of the screen and we go to a 1-year day chart, you will see that the the price of 486 was resistance. So at the time, DLPN squeezes all the way up into 484 for the first time. That is long-term trending resistance. So don't go long, trade short, or trade opposite of the move. And we make 1,400 bucks. Later, the stock of DLPN comes back up, squeezes to 530. And if you look at, well, not this time frame, but it actually is this time frame, it stopped here at this price point, 534. We wanted it to go to this price point, which was 544. This was so fast, it just kind of pushed right up and then it went right down. So we didn't really get an opportunity to get filled there. So we would have started shorting around 532s, 533s, up to the 540s, and then even to the 450s or 550s. But it was just so fast when you get the opportunity to do it. So anyways, we picked a bunch of long-term targets to short off of. We got the first one. The second one was just so fast, didn't fully get to where we wanted to get to. We couldn't take advantage of it. But the short trade ended up being a $1,100 win. All right, now for the big one on the day is LJPC, where I made 3,500 bucks. This is a stock I was red on $6 grand or $7 grand at one point, maybe. I was green on $9 grand at one point, and if I would have sustained through the short, I would be up 20,000. So this was one that hurts the soul because I traded it a little incorrectly. I traded it incorrectly to start. Then I traded it correctly. Then I was up 9 grand and didn't take profit off at 9 grand. Then I held through a bunch of these squeezes to not even get the full drop move. So it's like you did so many things right to not take home the championship. It's like Ohio State, right? I mean, well, kind of. You know, you play this season and you get to the championship and then you drop the ball. It's like, God damn it. So what happens here with LJPC? Pretty much, I started doing a big short here early in the morning, but I made a couple mistakes. So I thought it was hard to. I'm not even going to explain it. Just know that I made a couple mistakes where I went short and then I shorted way more than I wanted to short, and then I had to buy back a bunch of shares that I didn't really want to short. So then I helped squeeze the stock up, and then I accidentally fat fingered it. Bought some shares, and it was just a shit show. So then I lost it was like 5 grand or something like that. So it was down like 5 grand to start my day. It's like, it's fantastic. Just an idiot. Start down 5 grand. It's a great time. So basically shorted more than I wanted to short and then covered more than I wanted to cover to lose 5 grand. It was a shit show. So then I want to be short on the top, and I still don't short the top. And I basically start shorting here, 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 here. So pretty much I shorted this whole entire move pre-market and had a position of 23,000 shares. So when I'm short 23,000 shares with an average of 620, and then it goes all the way down to 520, 23,000 shares, average of 620, it goes to 520. That's a $23,000 trade. Well, so why? What all happened? So pretty much, again, did a bunch of dumb shit here, lost like 5 grand. Didn't short here when I was supposed to be shorting there. So again, I'm an idiot, didn't do my job correctly. Let it come down, then I start adding short into what is actually a little bit of a higher risk zone to be shorting in, but I figured that the stock was still going to go down, so it was still worth it. So I ended up going short. I'm short like maybe 15,000 shares. Pops up here, short 18,000 shares. Pops up here, short 21,000 shares. Comes down to here, I'm short 23,000 shares. All right, and then we drop out on the low of this candle. I'm up $9,000 on the day. Then it goes through this really stupid squeeze. When I say stupid, obviously it was stupid. If you look at the directions, that's what I mean. It's dumb. So you go through the squeeze, takes us right up into intraday resistance, which right now you can't see, but if this was real time during the moment, you would see the resistance that was right there. And as it's squeezing up, I go from 9 grand green to like 2 grand red or whatever. And everyone's like, oh, you got to take it out. I'm like, this is resistance. We should get a rejection. So then we instantly get this just gigantic rejection. Doesn't break support, which is not typical. In most instances, in this sort of setup, we would have broken down support, but we didn't. Then we kind of hold, and I could kind of feel, I'm like, you know what, this has maybe another squeeze in it. Maybe I don't fully understand this move. So then I close out my 23,000 share position for a $3,000 win. Mind you, I was red on the stock, $5,000 on the day. So I ended up finishing out at $3,500 green on LJPC, but it was red 5,000. So in theory, that trade netted $8,500. Could have been as high as 20. Was as high as $9,000. It was as high as a $14,000 trade on the day, but you know what happened. So anyways, it does all this dumb shit, and then it eventually rolls over and breaks down. And Connor sits there saying, yep, did it again, bud. Did it again, bud. And so it's okay. It's a learning lesson. I was not supposed to make the 20K day today. I wasn't. I really wasn't. And the way that it played out was the way that it was intended to play out. If I would have done my job correctly from the get-go, I would not have been down 5,000 on the day. Okay? I would have shorted the top around 668. My average would have not been 620. It would have been 630, 640s, 650s. I would have been less concerned or jittery about the stock's fluctuation. I would have made more money. So, because my timing was wrong, my entries weren't spot on, my average was a little iffy. It put me into more situations where I would go from green to red, from green to red. So you had more of an emotional attachment and psychological effect. And that all stems from not starting or doing your job correctly. When things aren't done the way they're supposed to be done, then trading can be a little bit more confusing, a little bit more nerve-wracking, and there's more of an emotional drag or cause and effect. So anyways, I made $3,500. I reversed my trade from $5,000 red to $3,500, net an $8,500 trade. So all said and done, I'm happy. I should be blessed, and I am. But it's a good learning lesson, and note to myself that when you don't do your job correctly, you're going to miss out on plays that could net 20 grand. So this is just one of those situations where you have to tell yourself and remind yourself that it's very easy to make mistakes, and the mistakes are what make your trading day really hard. But if you stay patient, wait for the ideal moments without being too aggressive too soon, you will normally put yourself into a well-functioning trade. So notate to self, Connor. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is the trading day. I hope you guys like these recaps. I will post a couple more. I'll post more live trading videos here soon or in the future. My office is kind of finally all set up, so we're kind of getting to the point where I can really dive in and focus on making these YouTube videos for you guys. But again, thanks for tuning in. If you guys would like to join our trading rooms or anything of that nature, links are in the description. I will see you guys on the next video. Everybody, take care.